So how did I become health conscious is what this video is going to be about. Well, it really started when I was about 15 years old, and I was in high school, and I noticed that a lot of the other guys had really clear, healthy looking skin, and although I never really had acne really bad, I did have those troublesome pimples that just seemed to form and pop up all the time around my jawline, on my face, and I didn't like that. And that was one of the small things that I started to take notice of, and I really wanted to do something about it and get rid of it because I didn't like it. It affected my self-esteem. Of course, I was going through some other things at the same time, such as panic attacks, anxiety, out-of-body experiences, and one time it was very severe where I was actually rushed to the emergency room. I wasn't at school, I was home. I wasn't in school on that day, but I did have a panic attack, and they did all the tests and everything on me, and everything came back negative. The only thing I was a little low in was calcium. So I started looking into my mom's nutrition book that she had at home and reading about natural things you could do for depression, anxiety, panic attacks, things like that. And that got my attention. And at the same time that I started learning and reading about these things, there was also a radio show, and it had the nutritionist guy on there, and he would be talking about various products that their company was selling, but like different nutrients and how they're beneficial for the body, and how amazing stories of people overcoming their diseases or illnesses by taking these nutrients. And that really caught my attention. I'm like, wow, that's really awesome. Especially so when there was listeners calling in and sharing their experiences and their story of how they've overcome all different types of things just by changing their diet, taking certain nutrients, supplements, things like that. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And that's really what triggered the whole thing for me. Now, I always was kind of a very imaginative individual, open-minded, questioned a lot of things, curious, very curious individual since I was young, and always, had an eagerness in me to learn, and so I pursued it, and, of course when I was still living home, I didn't have a job or anything, so I wasn't really able to buy my own food or to, buy supplements or take things like that, but I did actually start trying to avoid a lot of unhealthy things such as soda, and I just became more conscious, I guess, of what I was eating. And it started out little, and it's been since I was 15. It's been over 11 years now on this journey, and the more that I learned, the more conscious I became of what I was putting into my body and what I was putting onto my body. It was tough. Sometimes I would eat really bad, and other times I would eat really good. So it's kind of like a yo-yo bounce, back and forth, back and forth. But that's pretty much what got me into health and nutrition. And what really got me excited was when I started learning about, like the raw vegan diet, superfoods. I was reading things by Mike Adams on Natural News. I was watching videos with him, David Wolf, and all these different people. And it really sparked even more interest in me, and that was years ago. And and I started buying superfoods. I started going to the health food store and buying goji berries and acai and cacao and all these different amazing things. And then I learned about raw milk and all that stuff, and I had my experiences with that, with the grass-fed animal products, and So it's been quite a journey for me. I've tested very different diets, consumed a lot of different unique types of foods, used many different supplements. But really, when I really started eating healthy, avoiding a lot of the junk food, just pretty much 95% of the time eating healthy whole foods, I started to see really amazing changes in my body. My skin cleared up, my hair loss slowed down, my vision seemed to be a little bit better, I lost weight, I could see some abs, so it was pretty amazing. And because of those experiences that I had, it has allowed me and motivated me to continue on with it, and it's been a passion of mine. And because of my experience, such a positive experience that I had, that's one big reason why I created this YouTube channel, so that I could educate and share my experiences with all of the things that I've gone through and have learned to share with other people, so that perhaps they too could see an improvement in their health and really take full responsibility for their health and not have to worry about ever getting a disease or getting sick or anything like that. And it really gives you freedom. And that's my story, really. For the most part, my mom always made homemade meals and everything, but I consumed like most kids back then. I was born in 1986. I'm going to be 27 years old soon. But like most kids, I grew up consuming store milk, cereal. I didn't know anything back then about any of that. It wasn't even going through my mind. I was just eating what my parents gave me, and they didn't know any better either. You know, so now that I look back on that, I can really connect the dots and understand and see, well, maybe that's why, in my teenage years, I started having some of these, anxiety problems, out of body experiences, panic attacks. Those things were very scary to me. I couldn't really concentrate, almost kind of like an ADD type behavior. Bad skin. I actually was very, very chubby at one point when I was about 17, 18. Everybody thought I was going to be really, really fat. And I used to eat a lot. I used to drink a lot of soda. I used to eat a lot of ice cream, just a lot of food. And I was really porky. I looked a lot different, and now I slimmed down a lot. So it's certainly been a journey, and it's been a learning experience, and I don't regret any of it, because it's allowed me to learn, and I can see where I've come from, and it's equipped me now, I believe, to be able to help other people, and that's what I like to do. I'm always in a constant state of learning. We all are. But yeah, that's really that's my story, and that's what got me into health and nutrition. Because I just didn't think, that, how come these other people, look healthy and have nice skin? Here I am breaking out, and all that. And then I learned about dairy products and how, after eliminating dairy from my diet, I noticed a lot of things improved, cleared up. And it took me some time to have enough willpower to remove it out of my diet. But as the days went by and I replaced it with things like coconut milk, almond milk, whatever, I noticed big improvements, and I was able to continue on with that. And believe me, I went back and forth with milk, and even raw milk, many, many times. As many of you probably remember from my earlier videos, I would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And, every time I went back to dairy, I got the same symptoms. So over a period of time getting the same symptoms, I started to finally realize, that this isn't agreeing with my body. Now, I could have probably just had an allergy test done and ruled it out just like that. But, most of what I've learned and experienced has been through trial and error. I've learned to listen to my own body and find out what agrees with me and what doesn't. So I'm very health conscious. I'm very conscious of how my body feels, what I'm putting in my body, what I'm putting on my body. I read labels. So I am a very health conscious individual. And I believe that we need to be more than ever today, because we can't just trust things in the grocery store. We really need to be educated and learn. So that's what got me into it, and it's changed my life for the better. It really has. Because I see a lot of people, doing the same things, that I used to do when I was just a little kid, eating those foods. And, they're overweight, they got bad skin, they're aging really fast. A lot of them probably pre-diabetes or already diabetes. And I just couldn't live like that, And so I'm very thankful that I've had the opportunity to learn this valuable information at such a young age that I did. And I think that if more young people were open-minded and questioned things and didn't just gullibly believe doctors and, medical textbooks, but actually learn to think for themselves and keep an open mind and investigate, that they would too come around and see that, natural foods, treating the underlying root cause of the problem is always the best thing to do, rather than just treating a symptom. And so, I grew up in a family, that has a strong faith in Christianity, and I value myself, and I do have a high self-esteem. God created me, and I think that's an amazing thing, and I do have importance and purpose in my life, and I think because of these values that I have and ideals that I strive towards, trying to be, walk in Jesus' footsteps, because he is my perfect example, that it's allowed me to really care for my health. Whereas a lot of people, they say, they don't really care about their health, because they look at life as, I only live once, I'm going to do whatever I want. And they don't really strive for excellence. Whereas, because of my faith, it allows me and motivates me to strive for excellence, because it's virtuous, it's good, and it brings joy and happiness. And it inspires me, and it keeps me going. It gives me hope. And it gives me a feeling of sense of self-control as well, where I'm not just swayed by any old type of food, It's a wonderful thing not to have an addiction to food, where you have the ability to say no to that particular food. A lot of people have addictions to junk foods and things, and it's very hard for them to stop. But I feel very blessed and fortunate. Come from a loving family. I think that makes all the difference as well. It's very important that family has a strong family unit. I mean, all of these things played a role in me going down this path, and I believe that God sent me down this path. And, that I was, meant, I guess, to make these videos for a reason, to help people, to share my knowledge and information. And I would like to just say one thing else, and that is that this information that I have and things that I've learned, a lot of it is experience, things that I've gone through. But really, a lot of it is because I had a desire to learn in my heart. I had a desire to get online, to use Google, to read about nutrition, read nutritional articles, read about foods and how they benefit my health. So I've been educating myself, and that's critical. If anyone willing to and wanting to become more health conscious, wanting to take good care of themselves, you have to educate yourself. So that's why I like to watch a lot of videos with people that have a lot of knowledge about these things, like Mercola, Mike Adams. They put out a lot of wonderful things, and most of the information I've learned is from that and books. So you always have to be a student. You always have to listen and learn. And if someone really desires that, it can make a difference in your life, because knowledge helps you, I think, take, better care of yourself, and also to be able to be more equipped to be responsible for your life when you have more knowledge. And knowledge is a good thing, and so is wisdom, and we should strive for both. So that's my story, and with that, I will see you later. Goodbye.